Do you think film school is worth it?
That's a tough question. That's a really tough question. So my experience at USC was incredible. Like I went to USC. I worked at, there's other things that are involved, right? Like I worked at the school bar, and by work, I was a bouncer. I was always checking IDs, I got really good at checking IDs. And so, because I worked at the school bar, I knew everybody that went to USC. Because I went to film school, I knew everybody in film school. A lot of the people that I was in film school with have gone on to do like really big things. Like my friend Rich Kelly did Donnie Darko, and then he was like sort of off to the races. And then he did this movie that was kind of crazy called Southland Tales. It didn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but that has The Rock in it, and I helped him get The Rock in the movie. Like I lined up, like, hey, here's Dwayne's info, like go ahead and get him in, And so some of the people have done really big things, like The Mandalorian. I thought was awesome. I think that's like the last Star Wars thing that was like really cool. And my friend Rick Famuyiwa, that's his last name, was a basketball player for USC who was also going to film school, who had to quit the basketball team because it was too hard to go to film school and be on the basketball team. And he was just a great dude, man. I just remember he was this big, tall, black guy with a really deep voice. And so when we would do films, we would like, you had to show your film to the class. So the way that film school worked for me is the very first semester that you get there, they tell you to go out and buy like a Super 8 camera, a bunch of Super 8 film, a splicer, and like edit a reel-to-reel like editing thing. And they're like, okay, your first film's due next week. And you're like, what? Like, yeah, it's due next week. But I don't know how to use any of this. Like, they're like, figure it out. And there's no internet back then or nothing to like, I mean, there was internet barely, but there was no way to figure, I mean, what do you mean figure it out? Like, I'm gonna put the cartridge in the camera and I'm shooting, And so, I mean, it was difficult. And I just remember like, we would have to go around class and everybody gets like a chance to comment on everybody's movie. And whenever there was 5 minutes left, it was always Rick doing the timer and go 5 minutes. And it's this deep voice, you'd always hear 5 minutes. And so that was like our personal joke with that dude. He was, but it's amazing to see people grow from like this guy making small little movies on a Super 8 camera to doing like 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. Like that's incredible to see like somebody jump like that. And he had an interesting journey. He was, he was an African-American filmmaker, and he ended up befriending one of the guys at USC that taught like African-American film studies, and ended up like teaming up with that dude and making a movie. And so like, that's sort of how he got his career off to the races. So everybody has like a different weird start. Like Rich Kelly got his script somehow to Drew Barrymore, and they made Donnie Darko before he graduated. My friend Josh Schwartz, like we're in school with this kid, Josh Schwartz, and he sells a script, and it's the OC, to show the OC for like millions of dollars, like while he's still going to school. So it's a crazy, like kind of like who's who and who you know at like a USC or maybe like NYU. So if you're going to network, NYU and USC would be worth it to go to. But if you really just want to make movies and learn how to make movies, there are a lot of smaller film schools that are really, really good nowadays. Like really good. Like one of the guys that was a professor was at your film festival. He made that funny movie, Poopsie.
Poopsie? Yeah. I'll never hear the end of Poopsie.
Yeah.
It keeps getting brought up somehow.
Well, that guy was, he made a great little movie, right? Like, and so, and he's a professor. So like learning from somebody like that'd be, it's great. It's like, so there's a lot of smaller little film schools out there. I think what people are missing is this whole, like, because of Instagram and the Twitter and all these other things, they're so fast. They're just missing like really good story beats, like really good stories, like everything's so fast. And like, I don't know, you watch a movie and everything's got to happen. It used to be like if you watch Rocky, 30 minutes in the Rocky, the guy says, would you want to fight Apollo Creed for the heavyweight championship of the world? And Rocky's like, no. And it's after like this whole buildup that you see this guy's a bum, and you get all this backstory. He's flirting with Adrian. And, nowadays people are like, what am I watching? Fast forward, and you'd have to have where the guy says, would you want to fight, Apollo Creed for the heavyweight? Like that would have been 10 minutes in. And then at the 60-minute mark, the exact halfway mark of the movie, it's where he agrees to fight Apollo. So there's like all this like debate area in the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's the him training for it and getting ready. And then this like really climactic ending, and you're like, wow, what a great story. I remember when I went to film school, we had to go around and each tell our story, and you had to like say your name and where you're from. And, so I'm like, I'm Chris Bell, I'm from Poughkeepsie. And my favorite movie is Rocky. And the entire class just like erupted in laughter. And I'm like, what are you guys laughing at? And they're like, Rocky? That's your favorite movie? I'm like, you guys understand? Like, Rocky's amazing. I'm like, do you guys know it won an Academy Award? And nobody knew. They just thought like, oh, here's this meathead coming in. And mind you, the first day before I started film school, I competed in a powerlifting competition, and I squatted like 650 pounds, and I blew my eyeballs out. So I had completely bloodshot red eyes and a mohawk. So people are probably thinking like, who the hell is this guy, and then coming in saying like he likes Rocky. And the whole class laughed except for one person, and that one person was this girl, Sarah, who became my best friend in film school. Her favorite movie was The Godfather. And I'm like, yeah, you tell, that's good shit. And so all these other people were like, there was a lot of pretentious people, put it that way. A lot of Citizen Kane and Fellini's 8.5 and all these like, really artsy movies. I'm like, I like Rocky. I'm a simple guy, but going back to like, is it worth it to go to film school? I would say it just depends on what you're looking for. I think like, I really think what I learned in film school that was the most important wasn't how to like turn on a camera or load a film camera or any of that. The most important thing I learned was like what really good stories are. And we had a professor named Drew Casper. He's kind of famous, and he taught Cinema 190, and that's like the first film class you take, and it's like a film critique class, like criticism. And he's like, we're gonna watch a lot of really good movies this semester. And I'm thinking like, oh God, here we go. I'm gonna watch a bunch of crap, like probably we watched Tombstone, we watched Predator. Like we watched so many cool movies in that, and then like a bunch of like old movies, like Some Like It Hot. It's an amazing movie. And if like you've never gone back and seen these movies from like North by Northwest, and we watched them on a big screen on film, like it was amazing. So like I think that's where I got most of my education on like actual filmmaking was from sitting in that class and listening to that guy rant on about his love for all these awesome movies. And I think that's where it was worth it.